Okay, so it's Friday, May 2nd. And I'm going to say this. Shout out to all the May babies. Happiest Earth Day to one of my daughters that I didn't birth by, you know, into Earth, but I call her my daughter. Her name is Unique Divine Roddy. Anyways, shout out to her. And shout out to all the May babies, all you Tauruses. Shout out to y'all. I do not have the right to play I do not own the rights to the music that's playing in the background, but I have a right to play the music. So I am on the mic this AM, wondering like if anybody else is experiencing the after effects of the ascension process. I'm not wondering. I already know that's happening, but I was I was growing through my mind. I was growing through my mind that what if what if everything that I learned right now up to now is just the beginning of the bigger picture. So since I'm saying that, my past self is like, how you gonna make it? It's gonna be difficult. You see my throat chakra acted up. How you gonna make it? What's gonna happen? All the it got my past self, she got a lot of questions. I think all three of my past, present, and future selves, they always have a lot of questions. But currently, the past myself, she was like, how you gonna do this? How you gonna live? How you gonna get food? How you gonna do this? How you gonna survive? How you gonna be there for your kids as adults? How you gonna be there for your granddaughter that's in your lineage? Like how you gonna do that? And call yourself being a spiritual. How you gonna do all this? How you gonna do that? And I'll say right now, in the present, very carefully. So all these labels that I just said, I'm really not with all them labels. I'm just like, I'm gonna make it. Period. Point blank. That's the now. My future self, she already kicking it and chilling. She already like everything already worked itself out. So in terms of working things out and knowing thyself, this is the big picture. If you know who you are, you know you're gonna make it. Regardless of these outcomes. I said something to somebody. I kept saying, regardless of the outcome, you're gonna be good. Regardless of the outcome, you're gonna be good. But I was really when I was saying it, I wasn't hearing it. But after I got off the phone and for like these few days, I'm like, that message was for me. I'm like, dang it. So my past self at that time was telling my future self, which is right now, regardless of outcome, you gonna make it. You gonna be good, girl. Why you ain't tripping? what it, that's what I'm saying right now. Why you be tripping? So I'm just gonna proceed in the most abundant section because that's where I'm at. And these are the most encouraging words of the day. And I'm no saint, but like I'm a sweetie. I'm a big super sweetie. But I'm starting to see myself like that. If I see that you disrespecting the sweet parts of me, I go in on you a little bit. And I don't go in like harshly. And I really laugh at myself when I do it because I'm not like, I don't like to be serious all the time because I lived a chaotic environment where the persons that were abusing me, they were very serious all the time, and they were very angry. They seemed very angry. They were very aggressive, physically aggressive, and mentally and verbally abusive, in ways that aren't that are peculiar because peculiar, odd because they didn't use curse words, so that makes it emotional and mental abuse. So they didn't use cuss words as my parent. I'm using that term loosely. They didn't use cuss words. They like, especially the female. She would say like things like that, that don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? If somebody encourage you, they encourage you. So like she could give a backhanded um encouragement. So like example, like there was a barbecue we were gonna have, and she was saying she said this one time. I was like, I'm gonna ask her, and this would ask her, why is it that every time we go to do a family event, you ask me to give the most money? And I seen it, so I asked her. I was a grown up when I asked, and she was like, I do that because you make the most money. Your siblings don't make as much as you. And as your mom, that's what I'm saying. I'm your mom, so I can say that. What? My brain was like, am I supposed to say okay to that? My brain was like, what? How did now? That was my past self. Now I'm like, that was so rude and disrespectful to me as your daughter because I had these titles. Because the title, as your like person from your lineage, that was rude and disrespectful and wholeheartedly manipulative, mean, begrudging, and just all around just had the essence of evil. And I'm gonna tell you, look, I don't have another word for it right now, but the word is evil, and I'm gonna say that. That's being so manipulative and draining. It was so draining to be around my female parent. It was so draining to be around her, especially when I became homeless and I decided that I need to do something, for the second time in my life. For the second time in my life, I became homeless at that time, and I decided I was gonna break up with my father, of my child, but he followed me, so it didn't work that good at that time. But that's a whole nother story. But anyways, they were so Christiany and stuff. They were like, you can't live in a house with your dude, right? It's so backwards. You can't live in a house with your dude, but your daughter and you could stay in the room. So my boyfriend at the time, dude, whatever, baby, the father of the child, he stayed in my van while me and my daughter stayed in the house because my male parent was like, oh no, this is a Christian household. After all the beatings and the sexual abuse, I'ma think that y'all is doing wrong, okay? And you beyond regular. You went way past the bar with this one. I'm like, really? After all the sexual abuse, you gonna tell me that I need this, like I gotta be outside with my dude? And the unhealthy part of this whole situation is I put my daughter in harm's way. I'm just gonna be 1,000%. That was not a smart thing to do. So I did it for a few months until I figured something else out because I wanted my daughter out of there. So I did it for a few months because I was not comfortable. I did it. It's something about this where in my freaking mind, I thought that this area was the best I could do for my child at that time, and put her in an environment where it was chaotic, where that the male was having sex with his own daughter, and he was like saying this Christian stuff about how it's a Christian home and you can't sleep with your dude in this house, but you was sexually abusing me. So where is we doing this Christian stuff at? So you see how the concept goes here. Excuse me. And then on top of this, I realized that my mother figure at that time, that she didn't warn me against bad guys. She didn't warn me against the guys that I shouldn't be talking to. She didn't warn me about the people that are mean and evil. She never had those life conversations about how to just be with healthy people. And you can tell me, oh, she didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up like that. And I had to change that with my children. I actually started off, like I said, domestic violence, but like emotional abusive relationships. But I ended up leaving and being out of each one because of the unhealthiness. Like I was really being consumed by it. So currently, I'm on the trail of what you call, I guess, dating someone, because I realized that I'm dating them. I'm not really like I went to love for them, but I'm dating them. I'm not they not my boyfriend yet. Excuse me, my throat acting up. So and I'm at this point to where I'm just like, I'm too old to be playing this game. I'm 56. This is dumb. I need to fix this real fast in a hurry. I need to focus on I require that I focus on the most positive things for my life to uplift my life. And some of those things are the things that are going to help other women and other people, period, men too. So, especially children that come from a chaotic environment. So the life path is this. I grew up as a kid in a chaotic environment, sexual, mental, emotional abuse, physical abuse. I've talked about this, and my siblings too. But I can't tell their story. I can, but I choose not to. So, growing up in a chaotic environment, I'm seeing how my brain just don't work like regular. Like I've had to undo a lot of things to be in a more healthy way. And even when I'm thinking I'm being healthy, I'm like, I'm looking to make sure I'm not. I have trust that I can, but I have trust that I can work it out and be not in this area where I'm feeling unhealthy and I'm acting that unhealthiness out. So the soul part of me, the trust and the intuition, all those parts are still inside. It's just that I am currently having them